Hello, my super ladies. Our value added topic this week centers on a matter that sometimes is discussed jokingly in social circles, but is indeed very thought-provoking, if you know what I mean. Remember, at the beginning of this Ultimate Women's Network, our values and foundation were built on the Proverbs 31 woman in the Holy Scriptures. So this cuts across both single and married women, or at any stage you are in life at all. Men nowadays would usually ask that question: what are you bringing to the table? Not literally. Sometimes they ask it actually verbally, sometimes in their action when a relationship or a marriage journey is about to start. Nobody wants to marry on a blank page nowadays again. So I challenge you as a woman to do a deep dive, a deep self-reflection about yourself in order to answer that question about what you stand to offer were you to go into a relationship today, or you're already in a relationship, or you're even married. If you were to be priced right now in gold, how much can you weigh in carat? If a price is to be placed on you, what are the qualities to consider for your price to be named? Remember, the value of gold is weighed in carats as a measure of its quality and purity. What about you? I shared a video earlier on in this week about the attributes of a high value woman and why those attributes are invaluable. There are some very subtle, often unspoken values that are very, very necessary beyond the famous ones like beauty, riches, etc. If you want to successfully build a relationship or a family, you need these soft skills I'm about to discuss. Number one, I want to discuss about empathy. Empathy is defined as putting yourself in another person's shoe in order to understand their point of view or where they're coming from. There is a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. If you lay your hands on that book, try and read it to understand the difference between a man and a woman, physiologically, mentally, and in so many things. Now, the book explicitly discusses the core differences between a man and a woman that causes breakdown in communication, actions, and inactions in relationships and any type of relationship at all. So for you to be able to understand and be successful with the male gender, you have to deal with them through that empathy lens. I'm not talking about sympathy, but empathy, meaning that you need to understand them, where they are coming from, so that when they demand certain things, men demand a lot of things. Bracket open and bracket closed. I'm sure you understand. You will respond from a place of understanding, even if you don't agree with what they are asking for. Number two, consistency is another soft skill. Relationships and marriages cannot survive on fair weather skills. You've got to be consistent with your own part of the game and stay true to it. Don't vacillate like a pendulum in your behavior, commitment, or what is expected of you just because situations and status changes. Stay consistent in what works and keep at it till your aspirations and dreams come true together, if you are in agreement together. Because I understand some relationships, they're not in agreement. So I'm talking about an ideal, what you should be doing, what you should bring to the table of an ideal relationship now. Number three, it's about support, being supportive. It is very important to be supportive, especially in times of needs, of demand. There will always be some times when men are in need of certain things. This does not have to be that you are supporting them in financial terms alone, which is very great, but even offering your silence as against chop, talk, nag, even offering your silence is against that, and a shoulder to lean on at turbulent times is a rare value that we find among women these days. Don't use that time to be the time you're going to complain or insist on your own need that is not being met. During such times, men sometimes have hard times. That's not the time for you to start talking. Remember that no condition is permanent. They will remember how you make them feel when they were in their low season. Another skill is courage. It is no longer fashionable for women to be laid back and not be able to jump on the driver's seat at the absence of the man. There are situations that will make the man incapable of running the home or the affairs of the house or business, which can be sickness or travel or just not available at a certain for a period of time. So don't be that woman that will rewrite the story of things fall apart at such times. Do not let things fall apart when men are not there to be at the driver's seat. Be courageous enough to take on the helm of affairs and even do better than the man. You need that courage. You need to bring that to the table. Another skill is confidence. Confidence is a palpable skill, and men will love women who are not afraid to express themselves and influence the world around them through their energy, zest, and radiance. Such a woman will be a formidable force for family and business success. Another skill is independence. I'm calling them skill because these are things you have to master. Sometimes they don't come naturally. So that is why I call them soft skills. The way we have soft skills on the job, in the office, is the way we have soft skills in relationships. These are the soft skills. So the next one is independence. I did a podcast on the independent women recently. So maybe in the previous generation, it was expected of women to be dependent on men for everything, including how they use their time, their money, their resources. But nowadays, we see men being averse to women that are clingy, women that, that hold their cloth like babies up and down. Men need their women to be able to operate successfully without much of their interaction in dealing with daily runnings of the home and their own self-care. Nowadays, as a woman, always going to a man for everything you want to wear, you want to eat, it comes out as a lack of intelligence, a lack of, independence. So if you can't think or make simple decisions by yourself, the impression you give to them is, how will you be able to train the children or run the home when they are not around? They want women who can be independent enough to take certain decisions when they are not around. Another soft skill is this respectfulness that is almost being lost nowadays. This is fast becoming extinct, but if you embrace it with humility, it is still very fashionable and high valued of a woman to be respectful, not just to your own men. It is even to every man and also woman. You can start to practice this respect with your fellow women, and then it will be easier for you to respect men. So respectfulness should be at the core of your inner being. In everything you do, let them know that you treat everybody with respect. And then you'll find it easy to do same thing in your relationships and in your marriages. Another skill, kind-heartedness. Be kind. Be kind. And I repeat, be kind. Always put your heart forward in everything, not just putting your mind forward. So instead of you to give a piece of your mind when you are having disagreements, why don't you give a piece of your heart in saying what you need to say? The difference between giving a piece of your heart and giving a piece of your mind is that giving a piece of your heart, your emotions go into it, your understanding, that empathy I spoke about goes into it, your sensitivity about the need of that man goes into it. than when you want to give it. When you give a piece of your mind, you're just being very selfish. You're only telling the man what you feel, not without considering how that man feels. Remember that men have fragile ego, and you don't have to damage it by destructive expressions of anger. There are constructive ways to handle every contrary situation. Put your heart forward when you are handling difficult situations and disagreements with your men. Affection. That's another one. Be affectionate. Bring that soft and vulnerable feminine part of you into the relationship. Not always the business-like or the official tone of communication. You don't want to appear like you want to come and, be the boss when the man is there. Try to understand what I'm saying in the sense that be a soft woman with affection. So there is a place of softness as a woman when it comes to affection, and then that same woman you can demonstrate strength in courage and confidence. So you need to understand how to balance this. Men want women that can balance and switch from the boss at work to the baby at home. They like it, in case you don't know. Lastly, I want to talk about your intelligence. Don't underestimate your display of intelligence. Don't be empty-headed. Learn a little of everything enough to be able to carry on intelligent conversations. High-valued men want women who can meet them at their level of reasoning and analysis of life situations. Don't always appear blank or leave every decision to men. Be able to contribute meaningfully. You can easily lose your value in men's sight when you are always blank and the only thing you care about is shawarma, ice cream, and the latest fashion. You've got to be able to bring these soft skills along with your beauty, along with your wealth, along with your connections to the table. Otherwise, these things can go south. So keep in mind that while your physical beauty, in conclusion, or being able to generate wealth or having influence might be good tangible qualities as a woman, these soft skills that I've discussed with you today can make or break everything. So ensure you develop these skills along with other things you're developing to make yourself attractive and be able to hold men spellbound in love to you and bring them to the table as part of what you have to offer. Taking care of these things will go a long way in sustaining a home, in sustaining a friendship, in sustaining a relationship. The same thing can be displayed in any type of relationship, including work or just mere friendship. So I'm not just talking about relationships alone, but just that this is more applicable there, because that is where your heart and emotions are involved. So thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast. We are going to do an additional one next week again as our value added talk. So until next week, thank you so much. This is Dr. Kemi signing out.